I am Randy Suarez, aka Silva Crow, today back here with another amazing reaction. This time we're back with some more Island Preach in one of the videos that caught my interest because, surprisingly, I can relate. The title of the video is called I Cut Off My Parents. And, like I said, I can relate, and I'll get more into that during the video. But if you like any of this content, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe to Abba and Preach. I will leave the original link to this video down below so you can watch it uninterrupted. Also, links to my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Follow me on those social platforms. Link to my Cashapp. Feel gracious enough to donate whatever you want to donate. That's fine. That's fine as well. Same thing in super thanks, but donating, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff. However you show your support, it lets me know you're rock with the reaction content, rock with the channel, and rock with your boy. But further ado, buckle up and let's get started. Alright, we here with some more Abba and Preach. You already know the title of the video. I cut off my parents. So let's go.
Stop telling people who are no contact with their parents that they need to either make things right, they need to talk to their parents, or that's your mom. Like, how can you just not talk to her? I had someone on my live yesterday say that my mom is not guaranteed tomorrow, and that should give me the reason that I need to talk to her. Y'all.
Here's the thing. It's the reason why, what people don't understand is the reason why there's no contact at all. Because either they did something or the parent did something. Mainly the parent. And don't get me wrong, the person who was in her life is somewhat right and somewhat wrong because they don't know the context of between her and her parents or parent, or in this case mother, relationship. Because yeah, no one's parent or us are guaranteed tomorrow. But you also have to understand there's a reason why there's no contact. There's a reason why. It's one of those things that I explain to a lot of people. Not a lot, but a few people. Even my fiance is a reason why I don't talk to my stepmother, like, at all. It's been, don't get me wrong, I still have somewhat of a relationship, but not really. But I go into more on that later.
You know the two stories that I've told y'all. I have 26 years worth of things that have happened. I just know that if it was my husband that was saying or doing the things that my mom has done, that y'all would not be telling me that I need to stay with him and talk to him and make it work. So why is it different when it comes to parents? I don't care who you are. I have boundaries. I'm not gonna let people treat me just whichever way they want to treat me. Also, keep in mind that me being no contact with my mom was not an easy decision for me. It is not something I wanted to do or that I took lightly, and I'm still not happy about it. I don't want to have this sort of relationship. I don't want to be doing this, but I'm also putting myself first and doing what I feel is best.
People say stuff like that, but at the same time, people also see, like, a child who's being neglected or whatever, and they'll be like, oh, this person isn't a parent, they're just somebody who has kids, right? So on one hand, people will quickly watch negative things that parents do to their children and be like, you're not a real parent. On the other, they'll say, oh, people should never turn their backs. It's like, those two things, how they coexist in this world, I don't know. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, very much so crazy, because at the end of the day, it feels like people who said the second option, which is basically you never turn against your parent, after the wild crap that you saw in person, you know, like, I've seen parents acting like they shouldn't be parents. I'm not going into detail. Let's just say if they wanted to abuse their child in public, to a certain extent, I can only imagine what they do behind closed doors. You know, it's one of those things that I experienced that myself, and it's not fun. It's not right whatsoever. But there are people who will gladly justify that because, oh, they're your only parent or parents, and at that point, like, they feel more safer underneath a bridge than dealing with a crazy person.
There are parents out there who are fucking deadbeat losers, who beat their children, who do everything they can to possibly put their children down. And I also know some kids who will never let go of their parents despite that.
Yeah.
Even though their parents are the source of 99% of their stress and struggles in life, well into their 30s, they will hold on to their parent because of that very sentiment. Now, it's not my place.
Not just that, it's more like they want that validation from their parents or parents, and they want to be loved by their supposed to be parental figure.
To tell those kids what to do. I do think it's interesting that these kids are willing to suffer 20 years of misfortune at the hands of their parents' choices to make them miserable. That to me I will never understand. But they are entitled to that choice. The same way those very same people, if they said for the next 20 years I will no longer talk to my parents until they start changing their behavior, I would support. You guys should be able to you should be free to do
whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want with your parents' relationship. No one on the outside should be telling you how to manage them. My experience is that relationships can go one of three ways. It could be the parents are really terrible, it could be the kids are really terrible, or it could be a mixture of both.
Incompatibility.
And when you have these kinds of dynamics, everyone is going to react to them very differently. I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all. But a lot of times people come from cultures where parents are revered as the end-all be-all. I know some people who will literally have their parents decide who they're going to marry. I know some people who have their parents literally babying them until they're in their 40s. And I have some people whose parents just literally, anything they say goes. And the spouse comes second, third, fourth, or fifth.
It could not be me.
Everyone's going to be different.
Absolutely.
But you can't come with your cultural references and then come to everybody else and expect them to abide by them. In my opinion, I think a parent-child relationship is sacred, yes, but it doesn't mean it's immune from criticism or accountability. I love my mom, and I have her in my life not because she has to be there, but because we both choose to be in our lives. And that's way healthier for us both. Why? Because it makes us accountable to each other for our own behavior. My mom did a lot of terrible things throughout my life. She just did. But I can also concede that I did a lot of insensitive, terrible things. And as I've learned and forgiven her for that, she's learned to forgive me for that as we both changed our behavior. That, to me.
Which I can even say the exact same thing with me and my dad, because at the end of the day, I wasn't a good son for the longest. I wasn't. But the thing is, my dad wasn't really a good dad for the longest. Like when he divorced my stepmom, both of us had issues for the longest. I was the first one to let all that crap go. It took a long time for me to do that. It took him a while to do that. And basically when I was in my mid-20s, yes, me and him talked about it. And then we were more closer. Same thing with my mom, my actual mom, There's a reason why my dad didn't want me to be around her growing up, because my mom was basically being an alcoholic, and my dad didn't want me to be around that, which is, it took me a while to understand the ramifications of that, but understanding at the end of the day, so.
Even with my mom, who's incredibly traditional and comes from a country where that kind of thinking is crazy, to see that kind of growth is beautiful. But that's not there unless people are being held accountable, okay? But if my mom would have never changed, I would have cut her out of my life. Easy. And I can say that because I've cut other people out of my life. Because they just wouldn't change the way that they were hurting other people. And would I regret that? Absolutely not. It would be sad because I want these people in my life. And most people I know who stop talking to their parents do so because a lot of things have happened. It's not like, oh, she called me a bitch. That's it. That never happens like that. No. So rather than come to this conversation, be like, ooh, that's your parent, whatever. People can come with like problem-solving skills to actually mend families, but people don't want to do that. They just tell you to stick around.
No. In what they wanted to stick. Why would you stick around when you're not wanted? Two, you're feeling the most animosity. Like I literally have a story. I'm gonna share, but probably only for YouTube because I know it won't go anywhere besides that and people who want to listen. Like my Christmas forever for me is ruined because of my stepmom. But again, I'll tell that for another story. I tell that I had to talk with my sister, my stepsister, who's again my sister, and she's like, "Oh, that's right. Like, yeah, Christmas is forever ruined." So,
your thoughts are.
My thoughts are this. No, you don't have to talk to your parents ever again. They don't have necessarily, they have to speak to you. No, you don't have to have a relationship. Absolutely not. They did some fucked up shit. You could cut them right off. Absolutely. You could be like, bye, I'm not dealing with that bullshit no more. I'm thinking about me. I'm doing me. I'm not dealing with you no more. Yeah, you could do that. But you also have to understand that your actions have consequences.
Yes.
Although you are very, you are entitled to do that, it's a possibility. It's a possibility that you regret it later. Yeah, it might. I wish this and that, and I wish I could mend things up for my parents. But I'm not the one that's gonna be telling you, yeah, you absolutely have to. I don't know how you felt, and I don't know what you lived, and how you lived that shit, and how it was. I can't. But I do understand this. We glorify and sanctify this relationship like anything. Doesn't matter what happened. But it's your mom. To me, that's not an argument. It's not. But it's your mom. But it's your dad. No, forget them. All right. It's really just it's a no.
I just know that if it was my husband that was saying or doing the things that my mom has done, that y'all would not be telling me that I need to stay with him and talk to him and make it work. So why is it different when it comes to parents?
That's not better either. I think a lot of times people just come out from the outside and always just like, quit a marriage, quit it. And so people think that that kind of mindset should apply to all relationships. No, you should not be treating them like that. No. You should not be quick to cut off relationships because there's negative stuff or there's some toxicity. That's not how the way it works. People should be trying to mend things and change their ways and try to improve, especially with marriages or familial bonds. So
yeah, but if there's no, I'm following what Alba is saying with this. You can do all that, but if you see there's no progress, like whatsoever. Why are you mending their relationship with they have no interest of mending with you? That's one of those things that will always irk me. Because here's the weird part: it would be them wanting to mend the relationship, but not even trying, or they agree to it, but not want to put in no effort to actually do so.
In my opinion, all these relationships are worth fighting for to the utmost degree.
That's pretty much it, man.
Yep.
It's like, and you know, cutting the bridge with someone, like cutting the bridge off with someone. Am I hurt?
Yeah.
It might hurt.
Oh, it will hurt.
It doesn't mean it's not because you cut it off that you're like insensitive or whatnot. It's not that what it means. It just, hey, I have to choose me. I want it, whether it's your mom, your dad, your relatives, your friends, your people in your life. Sometimes you need to cut it off. It's the same thing with a job with a toxic environment. The pay was good, but sometimes it's draining and it's fucking up my life. And you know what? I gotta choose me. So I quit that. I like some of my coworkers. There was good points in the relationship, good sides of the relationship, and it was good, but I gotta cut it off. In order for me to grow, I need to cut this off.
Yes.
I can tell you it hurts. You wanna know why? Because it's not like a job. It's very different. You wanna know?
You're not really in frame.
That's fine. It's not really like a job. It's so different. Because when you cut off a family member, you're cutting off family functions. So you're cutting off the whole network to a degree in terms of how folks gather.
Good.
So,
and that's what it was like to basically somewhat cut off from my stepmom. And don't get me wrong, I love my that side of my family was basically my step family and everything. But it was hard to deal with knowing that they knew what somewhat to a certain degree what was going on. And they done really nothing about it. So that's one of those things that was like, you know what? I still love them, but cutting off my stuff. You know, me and my dad are still welcome. Don't get me wrong. It just because of all that, I'm not really much family oriented like most people are. Which is fine. It's just the point that part somewhat died within me. But again, I digress on that.
you're missing out on all the experience you're supposed to have as unit Christmas, the family bonds, the showers. Because if you're doing truly no contact, that means you're not in places where they're going to be there. So you're actually cutting off a whole lot more. So cutting off a family member is actually incredibly traumatic in a lot of ways.
Even like friends and stuff like that. Sometimes it's just the disrespect is too much, and sometimes you just I gotta do. Doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt. It does, but sometimes it's a necessity for you to grow. And yeah, I'm not gonna be the one to tell you that you shouldn't do it because it's so sacred and you love that. I'm not the one.
I wonder, with these people who say, "But it's your mom, you have to." What if that person has a grandchild? Is the grandma entitled to treating that grandchild the same way too? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
That could not be me.
Do you guys really believe that? I don't think so. I think they would change their mind.
I hope not.
I think that a lot of kids have a bad notion that they have to ultimately always self-sacrifice for their parents.
Yep.
That is somehow noble, and it's always a good thing. And I'm here to tell you that's not the case. Sometimes you're actually just making a really dumb decision. You may think it's from a good place because you've been brainwashed. Yes, I'll say it. Some of you have been fucking brainwashed into thinking that your parents can never be wrong and that you're always supposed to suffer for them.
Bro,
I don't think it's not good to sacrifice for your people and your loved ones, but you have to understand there comes a point where your self-sacrifice is literally just enabling their bad behavior. Because when you endure it, that means the expectations also set for your siblings to also endure it. And that means let them know, oh, what I'm doing is not wrong. So because you let it happen the first, second, and third time, the 20th time, be like, bitch, how you gonna tell me different? You told me I was right. Your siblings that you set an example told me that it's right. So I'm gonna just keep doing it.
And the more that you enable it, the worse it gets.
I'll tell you this,
and that's what it felt like. It felt like a lot of people were enabling my stepmother's behavior, among other things. And I'm like, it took my dad, let's put it this way. My dad got married to this woman back in January 1st of 98. Got divorced from this woman back in March of 07. So basically 9 years of dealing with, it took him 8 years to figure out that she was crazy. 9 years for the divorce. Well, not 9 years, a year for the divorce. So total of 9. I have permanent scars, like literally on my body, due to bullshit on her end. But again, I digress.
Relationship with my mom got so much better once I realized, oh, she makes mistakes. Oh, she like
That's
the
how
rest
I
of us
realized with
adults.
my
She don't
dad,
know
he
what
made
the
mistakes.
she's doing either sometimes.
She's just winging it.
Oh, I actually know better than my mom in some situations. And it's no disrespect. My mom's incredibly wise in some domains. She gives me counsel and I always appreciate it. But guess what? She's technologically illiterate. God love her, but hey man, doing IT for my mom is one of the most unpaid stressful behaviors that I'm like, hey, how is this real? Why do you have scotch tape over your webcam to stop hackers? That doesn't work. Okay? But I love her.
Yeah.
But I think in seeing, you know what's crazy, bro? I said it recently.
I'm not laughing at your mom. I'm just
Because I always held her in this position, she literally wasn't human. Which sounds so counterintuitive.
It is.
But because my mom was like secret for a long time, she didn't have hobbies in my eyes. She didn't have even like, I didn't even know what TV, like I didn't know.
a lot of you are like that.
Because she's so busy being like up here, I forgot to so I remember we went out to like some event, we were just like painting cups and shit. We were doing like ceramic cups and stuff. We were getting them ready.
Yeah.
And she really enjoyed it. And I'm like, I'm 33, but like, oh my God, my mom likes art. And it sounds so, but
No, I
for
think
me, it was such a big deal because it humanized her in a way she was just not just this mythical figure.
I think it's also culturally speaking, you know. My parents are very much open to the world and stuff like that. They're very, you know, so I did stuff like that with them. And
Gotcha.
and so of course, and it was not always that figure. I did a bunch of activities with my parents. Like my mom used to work during the day. My dad was working at night, right? But during the summertime, I was there at home with my sister.
Yeah.
My dad, at some point, my dad got up. He said, "Yo, tell your sister to dress up. We're going out." And And I was like, all right, man, whatever. And my dad don't say much information. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I dress up. The man tells you to dress up, just the fuck up. So I dressed up, and we get in the car, and it's like, where we going? You'll see when we get there. All right, bro. Shit. All right, shit. And anyways, I ain't got no.
You don't have to say.
I don't have to say anyways. You just shut the fuck up and enjoy this ride to nowhere. We end up at the zoo. This motherfucker took us to the zoo, and it's like, yo, look at this. Look at that shit. It's like Dad, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly what he wanted to avoid.
Yeah.
That bothersome look. Like, I'm still neither. Don't look at me.
Yeah, don't look
at me.
I get it. I don't like revealing surprises for that same reason either.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with the annoying excitement of people.
Yeah,
Like,
just calm down. Like, oh my God, shut the f up. Just enjoy the ride to nowhere, and you'll get there. When we get there.
Yeah.
But all that to say, yeah, you kind of see your parents at some point. You see your parents as human beings. You take them down off the pedestals, not they're still your parents and stuff like that. But you're like, you see them at the most vulnerable and stuff like that. So yeah, it's humbling.
Oh, that's funny.
You see them they go from the people that always have the answer to, how the fuck don't you know that? How the fuck did you raise me?
Yeah. Sadly, yeah.
So being able to break that, it just being like, okay, that person is human. That person makes mistakes. You're able to forgive whatever the fuck they did.
Yep.
Consciously or unconsciously. Sometimes they don't know. They try to wing it. So yeah, I'm not saying that girl to forgive her. It's just the whole concept of the thing.
Yep.
So yeah.
The last point I'll leave it on is mending relationships is a two-party event. Now, maybe there's an offending party that needs to apologize first, but you have to understand both of y'all got to build that bridge. Both. Okay? Sometimes people think conflict resolution is always on the other person. Maybe you just got to say the first word for them to come meet you. I understand maybe you're tired of having to do that constantly, but if it means that you get to fix that relationship, that's not the worst thing in the world. And then at the end of the...
It's also getting if you know deep down, and you have the receipts, facts, and all that other stuff because you relived it, they done nothing wrong, but up to the other person, to admit that they were wrong. If they willing to admit that, y'all willing to amend the relationship, y'all can rebuild that bridge together.
Then you can walk away saying, I tried everything and you let it go. But in my experience, mending fences isn't always an even job, but it is a two-person job.
Yeah. The best way to build a bridge is from the two shores.
What he said. At any rate, I don't know if that's true. There's probably going to be an architect in the... the proper way to you build a little steam tank right in the middle of the water. Shut up, nerd.
Yeah, shut up. Nerd. Ain't nobody asked you.
Fucking nerd.
You just messed up my whole fucking bar.
I bullied out of my family.
That was a bar.
Yeah.
And you messed it up.
All right, anyways.
Waffle fries.
Waffle fries. But yeah, at the end of the day, if both parties are willing and understand you want to build that bridge to amend that relationship, it is possible. It definitely is possible to grow. But anyway, that's the end of the video. So y'all like any other content, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe to Abba and Preach. I will leave the original link to this video down below, so watch it uninterrupted. And this was a good video. But like I said, I will give you a Christmas one, short story time, somewhere in the near future, explain why Christmas, as of right now, has been not really for me. So I'll let you know whenever I do that. Y'all know. So, but till next time, please take care of yourself. Stay hydrated, stay safe, stay warm. Peace out.
And little questions is everything they know about you.